Let's have a quick convo about Ecwid. Everybody talks about Ecwid here, Ecwid there, and so the big question is Ecwid really worth it? So in today's conversation, I really want to dig deep and really answer all the questions that you may have. So in the end, you'll have a clearer idea about what this tool is about. Okay. So number one, at a glance, let me just give a quick overview into the tool. So Ecwid, when you really think about it, has a lot going for it because it can be used entirely for free. It lets you add e-commerce capabilities to any existing website. And it comes with good features for selling in different languages and currencies. So if you are thinking about an international business model, Ecwid is kind of cool. Okay. Its instant site feature represents a really easy way to get a one-page store off the ground and will suit a lot of e-commerce beginners nicely. Okay. There are a lot of negative aspects to talk about. I'll talk about that later on. But overall, what I want to say here is that you basically have a very easy to use tool. By the way, Ecwid stands for eCommerce widget. So the tool actually started as an e-commerce widget, and then later on they branched out, they scaled, and they became bigger. Okay, let's quickly go through the pros and cons. So again, you have a better understanding of what the tool is about. So pros: a totally free Ecwid plan is available, which is fairly generous in terms of features. Okay, Ecwid represented a really simple way to add e-commerce to any existing website. I don't care how complex or simplistic the website is. The product, when you really analyze it, is cheap by comparison to other solutions. Point of sale functionality is available, and there are quite a few ways to implement it. Multi-currency selling is easy enough in our analysis to implement, although you will need to pay for an app to do so. Okay. And Ecwid does support multi-language versions of your store. Tax rates are applied automatically. This is kind of cool. The store designs are fully responsive, so they're available on all types of devices. Okay. So what about the cons? Now, phone support is only available on the more expensive plans. And multi-currency functionality is actually, it doesn't really display the local currency at the final stage of checkout. In terms of SEO, SEO could be better, honestly. And in terms of mobile POS integrations, this again also could be better. So overall, you have a lot of pros, but a few cons. But if you want to actually mitigate those cons, you need to actually get the paid plans. Don't go with the free plans. Not worth it. I want to talk to you about the pricing now, okay? By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. We love having this types of conversations every now and then. It's wonderful to, mi casa, tu casa, make yourself comfortable here. And I want to also remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about Ecwid, okay? This is an in-depth review of Ecwid. I'm explaining to you everything you need to know so that you can make your move. When you make your move about buying or not buying Ecwid, you know that you made the right move, okay? So I want you to look right now on the screen. Here is a pricing for Ecwid as of the date of this show, okay? So you can see that you have different types of pricing models, pricing tiers, okay? You have the free plan, you have the venture, you have the business, and the unlimited. Now, the free plan is actually free because, and with the exception of Big Cartel, only Ecwid does provide a free plan when it comes to e-commerce platform. Now, with the free plan, you can actually sell up to 5 products, okay? And again, we do not advise you to go with a free plan unless you're just out there to test, because you know why? Two things. Number one, the capabilities on the free plan are really limited. Number two, you don't want to start an online store and only sell 5 items maximum. No, it's not worth it. You got to think growth. You got to think scalability. So, which leaves us with what? It leaves us with the venture plan, the business plan, and the enterprise plan. Now, in terms of which one you should go with, it really depends on your niche. It really depends also on the vision that you have. If you go back to what I just said to you in terms of don't start an online store with only 5 products to sell. If you are thinking about scaling, if you want to go, like let's say you want to go big fast, then you need to actually equip yourself with the tools and resources that will help you get there. And you can only get there through the enterprise or the business or even or the venture plans. Okay. In terms of gateways, you can actually use like with Ecwid, you have access to you can actually access a lot of gateways, payment gateways that is, okay. But you have one, the PayPal, that's PayPal. If you want to have others, that's fine too, but you need to have some integrations for that to happen. Like SagePay, Stripe, 2Checkout, Authorize.net, and many others. You'll need to have some kind of integrations. Okay. So this is it's not like a straightforward thing as you would have in Shopify, for instance, or BigCommerce or WooCommerce, but it is what it is. Okay. Every tool has its pros and cons, and for Ecwid, for the payment gateway thing, it doesn't happen automatically. Speaking of payment gateways, I want to quickly talk to you about point of sale functionality. Okay. And this is quite essential if you are trying to sell, like you want to sell online, but also retain the capability to sell offline too, right? So basically, thanks to Ecwid's point of sale features, you can use your Ecwid store to sell not just online, but in physical locations too, in stores, market stalls, at concerts, and so on. Okay. And so the solution that Ecwid has is actually powered by Square. So it's a big partnership, if you will. It's a great operational agreement with Square, whereby if you have an Ecwid store, you can actually sell using Square POS. Okay. And so this is kind of cool because regardless of whether a customer buys a product in store, online, or on his or her phone, or via Facebook for that matter, everything stays in sync. In other words, you as the merchant, your catalog, your inventory, and your customer transaction information is all synced. Okay. You also have a mobile POS. This is kind of cool also. So bottom line here is that you have, in terms of POS, you have a constellation of tools that make your store really shine. Because see, what we love about Ecwid when it comes to point of sale functionality is we love the integrations. Okay, because for a more comprehensive POS system that lets you use a wider range of hardware, I'm talking about full-size card readers, receipt printers, cash drawers, tablet stands, you can integrate Ecwid more deeply with a variety of third-party POS systems, including Vend, Clover, Square, and Alice POS. So this is really cool. The only thing is you're going to have to need the more expensive plan, the unlimited plan or the enterprise plan that will cost you about $100 to $150 a month. But at that point, you are able to amortize that cost real quick because you must be in a situation where you're making a lot of sales to be able to justify that extra cost. I want to quickly talk to you about the features that you will find in the Ecwid that you will love, that we have loved to, okay? But by the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you to this topic. I'm going granular today on Ecwid. I'm explaining to you everything you need to understand before making a purchase if you want to choose this tool, okay? The thing is, when it comes to features that we have found interesting on Ecwid, there are a lot of them, but we are going to focus on a few of them here. That you can create multilingual stores with Ecwid. This is kind of cool. But you got to be on the business or unlimited plan though, okay? So your storefront, your Ecwid storefront can be translated into 53 different languages. Okay, so this is kind of generous by comparison to key competitors like Shopify, like WooCommerce, like Weebly, like BigCommerce. Okay, so you can actually set the default store language in the Ecwid dashboard. For us, this is quite essential because if you are having a global, let's say you're having a global strategy for your business model, it could be really interesting to have this multilingual capability. Okay, you can import and export products like many competing products Ecwid allows you to import and export your data into the platform using CSV format. Okay, so this is kind of cool. And you actually also, you can enable SEO in Ecwid. This works fantastically. Okay, so you're able to not only enable your SEO on the page, but also SEO in terms of your overall store. So Google and other Google, Bing, and other search engines will automatically start sending you free organic traffic. When it comes to apps and plugins, the Ecwid is a little limited because on Ecwid you don't have a lot of apps compared to the 8,000 or so available on Shopify, for example. Like on Ecwid, you have about 250, 275. That's kind of crazily low. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, Shopify is giving you 8,500. Ecwid is giving you 261, 275. That's crazy low, but hey, listen, it is what it is. Okay. And you do have integrations on Ecwid, like key integrations in our view. Like you have FreshBooks, you have ShipStation, you have, there are other players. You have Zero, you have Wave. Okay. You can actually drop ship also in Ecwid if you are interested in that business model. Okay. So basically you're able to ship products to customers without ever storing, without ever touching the products, without ever storing, or, like your supplier, your dropship supplier, it's shipping everything to the customer. But one thing we love about, and I think I said this at the beginning, that one thing we love about Ecwid is really their instant sites feature. Because this is actually when you really think about Ecwid, they have been traditionally a product that lets you add an online store to an existing website, right? Now it allows you to set up a standalone store too, and they call it Ecwid Instant Site. So this is kind of cool, okay? Now an instant site is a basic one-page affair based on, based on what you want, based on your niche, based on your like the content you put on the page. So don't expect anything spectacular through the instant site sort of feature. Okay, it involves just two, like basically if you have to create an instant site, it basically means what? You are choosing a template from a range of 75 to 85, and you have to add some content products to it. That's it. Okay, so don't expect anything like complicated or deep. Okay, but it is what it is. Okay, it is for those folks who like the way we look at it. For us, it's kind of similar to a landing page. I mean, Ecwid doesn't call it that way, but for us, it's just a landing page. It's just like a shorter landing page, because some landing pages can be really, really long. Like you keep scrolling to the bottom, and there's no bottom apparently. But with Ecwid, with their instant site, you have a one page, and it's kind of short. Okay, but hey, it is what it is. I also want to talk to you. There are other features that we love a lot in Ecwid. For instance, you have they have the shop app feature. This is really cool also. Okay, and this feature was recently introduced. Like they actually it was a few weeks ago, and basically this shop app turns your online store into a mobile app. Okay, one that can be downloaded from the iOS and Google app stores. Think about that. This is really cool. Like if your customers can actually download your entire store, okay, as an app, that's just fantastic. So this feature is actually bundled with the unlimited plan, or it can be added to the other paid for plans for a one-time payment of $5.90. So as of the date of this show, if you pay about $600, the Ecwid Shop App feature will transform your website, your store, into an app, into a mobile app. Okay. So the advantage of this feature, I mean, you probably understood it. It's just that it gives you another sales channel to play with, and also the opportunity to have your brand featured as an app icon on a shopper's mobile device. Okay. So this is really, if you are, let me say it this way. If you are in an industry where it really matters, like your customers care about those things, then yeah, go ahead and do it. If not, it's not really worth it. And on Ecwid, you also have the capability to calculate taxes. Okay, so tax calculation is kind of cool. You can sell on Ecwid using multiple currencies. I've said that before. You have shipping options that are really broad on the platform. So when we talk about, you have some integrations in Ecwid from UPS to USPS to FedEx. That's for the US. In Canada, you have Canada Post. In the UK, you have the Royal Mail. In Brazil, you have Brazil Correios. In South Africa, you have MDS Delivery. Australia, you have Australia Post. And in Russia, you have EMS Russian Post. So you do have a lot of integrations here in terms of shipping, and the rates that you have in Ecwid are based on weight. Okay, so the good news is that this on Ecwid, they do have a real-time carrier quotation functionality that is available on all paid-for Ecwid plans. Okay, this is commendable and makes Ecwid more generous in this area than many of its competitors. And in terms of other features I want to talk to you about, the interface and ease of use. Now, when we tested Ecwid's interface, we did not encounter much of a learning curve. It's very, 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 very easy to use, okay? And like many similar online store builders, you get a vertical menu on the left, which allows you to access key functionalities, and the area on the right is used to display or edit associated products, site content, and reports. And in terms of the interface itself, it's kind of cool. I mean, you'll need to spend a bit of time familiarizing yourself with the tool, though, like things like creating catalogs, creating product variants, setting up shipping rates, and so on. But as an e-commerce interface, really, it's really, really simple. I mean, don't think about a learning curve here, okay? You'll have some curve, but it won't be that steep, okay? So it's just, it's worth it. It's worth giving a try to see exactly whether or not it really does work for you. I mean, it's one of those things you just block like 2 hours in the afternoon or 1 hour in the afternoon. You just play around with it for a little bit and then you understand it. Let me talk to you about that. I want to give you some extra info. That's quite essential as we analyze Ecwid. And particularly, I want to touch on GDPR compliance, because obviously you are going to sell to some customers who hail from the European Union. I don't care, because anytime we say this, people say, well, I'm in the States, I'm in Oregon, I'm in Texas, I'm in Dallas, Texas, and I'm just selling to US citizens. Yeah, but hey, listen, GDPR, if you have a citizen of the European Union visiting your website, you got to be GDPR compliant. Okay, so even though you are targeting a US audience or a Canadian audience or Australian audience or Nigerian audience, I really don't care. But if somebody from the EU is visiting your website out of distraction, whatever, you got to have GDPR compliance. Otherwise, you are going to face some fines. Okay, so it's important to really think about it that way. So when we talk about GDPR, we're thinking about making sure that you get the consent of the visitor before collecting their data. That's all it is, okay? You need to get explicit consent from people signing up to email list that it is okay to send them e-newsletters. And you got to provide a means to opt in or revoke consent to use their non-essential, to use non-essential cookies on your website. What about customer support? Now, this is very interesting. I mean, at least we found it interesting when we tested it. Now, the level of customer support you get from Ecwid depends on the type of plan you are on. If you pay, you'll be taken care of. If you don't pay well, then whatever. Okay. So if you're on the free plan, you can avail yourself of live chat support for the first 30 days of your subscription. Okay. If you are on the venture plan, you can expect email/live chat support. If you are on the business plan, you can get phone support in addition to email and live chat support. If you are on the unlimited plan, you have phone, email, live chat, and priority support. Okay. And the support comes in several languages, including English, okay, Dutch, German, French, Italian, Spanish, and Russian. So you kind of have this support, okay? So you have customer support languages in Ecwid. That's just fantastic. want to quickly talk to you about some of Ecwid's competitors. Okay, so when we talk about Ecwid's competitors, I mean, Ecwid is not the only player in this industry. Okay, you have like if you are starting an online store from scratch, then you are really spoiled for choice, because there are many platforms available that allow you to build a standalone online store. Big hitters include Shopify, BigCommerce, Wix, Volusion, and Squarespace, right? With Shopify and BigCommerce being the most fully featured as far as e-commerce features go. And so if you are going to integrate a store into an existing site of the above platforms, both Shopify and BigCommerce will let you do this with an embeddable buy button. And this buy button works in a similar way to Ecwid, in that you add a snippet of code to your website to feature products or collections on it. Okay. However, whereas Ecwid allows you to effectively put a complete, fully functioning store on an existing website, the Shopify and BigCommerce options are considerably more basic. Okay. This is where like Ecwid is really kicking some ass here, because you're able to get more like a comprehensive functionality. And WordPress users may also be interested in looking at WooCommerce to add an online store to their site. Okay. And so the bottom line here is that with Ecwid, you do have a lot of capabilities. It's all about what really works for you. It's all about what really is important for you. Now, what about Ecwid? You have to understand Ecwid is a little better when it comes to WordPress, because WordPress does not provide any e-commerce functionality out of the box. So anyone wishing to sell on the platform will need a third-party solution like Ecwid. And there is a dedicated Ecwid plugin available for WordPress. So really, adding an Ecwid store to your WordPress site is very straightforward. You can get up and running within, let's say, with a few clicks. Okay. What about Ecwid and Squarespace? Like, Squarespace comes with increasingly good e-commerce features, but it doesn't currently facilitate multi-currency selling. And it is a bit limited when it comes to drop shipping and automatic tax calculations. Okay. Now, integrating Ecwid with Squarespace allows you to bypass these limitations, and adding it to a Squarespace site is very easy. It's just simply a matter of adding a code block to a page by pasting some HTML into it. Okay. What about because people have asked us also about Wix. Well, if you are a Wix user, you can use a dedicated Ecwid app to sell products on your site. You can also avail yourself of preferential rates from Ecwid. Okay. So this is really, it's not really that complicated. It just takes some time for you to actually get used to all the functionalities and see exactly what really works for you. Because the thing is, some of those solutions I'm talking to you about here, they are generic solutions, and they might have to be customized to suit your specific, your specific challenge or your specific situation. So here's the decision. Let's just have a decision here, okay? So overall, if you were to ask us our opinion, our recommendation, Ecwid is a cost-effective, powerful way to add e-commerce functionality to an existing site. That's option number one. Option number two, or to place an online store on a Facebook page or other social media presence. So bottom line here is that if you're sitting there, not here, if you're sitting there, you're asking yourself, should I go with Ecwid or not? My question to you is, what are your online store needs? If you have basic online store needs, then yes, you can go with Ecwid. Let's say you have an existing blog, right? You have an existing website, and you just want to have a little something that allows you to have an online presence and actually sell an online presence in terms of e-commerce store. You don't want to sign up with Shopify or WooCommerce or whatever. You just want to have this e-commerce capability so you can actually sell products and services and actually collect payments. Then Ecwid will be a great tool for you. Okay, but like the same applies if you are trying to have something simple posted on Facebook or Instagram. Okay, now if you want to have, let's say, if you are building a standalone site, I'm talking about a fully fledged website, there are better options available. I mean, we would be inclined to go with Shopify or BigCommerce, but ultimately, Ecwid does what it says on the tin. It lets you add e-commerce functionality to any website and easily too. Okay, so it's all about the degree of sophistication you want, really. So the thing here is that Ecwid deserves particular praise for its completely free plan and its comprehensive multilingual selling features. There is, however, a bit of room for improvement when it comes to SEO. Okay, so overall, Ecwid is actually designed, is really great for beginners because it is designed with a non-coding audience in mind. So it's very easy for e-commerce and web design novices to actually use it too. Okay. And it's a great option for small businesses because it is very easy to use, provides a good range of e-commerce features, and it is, in our view, again, this is our view, it is reasonably priced. Okay, so the main advantages of using Ecwid for you are the fact that it has a free plan, entirely free plan. Its comprehensive feature, its set, like its feature set is really comprehensive, and the fact that it can be used to add e-commerce features to an existing website. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about Ecwid. We had a granular Ecwid review. So I actually showed you a little bit about Ecwid, explained to it the pros and cons, the pricing, the functionality when it comes to a point of sale, the features that you really need to pay attention to, the extra info, the rivals, and the decision you need to make. Thank you. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.